Hi everybody, Trace here. Today we are going to fly the Citation X from our FBO at Suffolk County Airport, the Gabreski Suffolk County Air Force Base Reborn out on West Hampton on Long Island to our other FBO, uh, Kilo Papa India Echo, which is St. Petersburg Clearwater down in Florida. The airplane is gassed up, the flight line flight has started, the people are on board. So without further ado, let's get on board and get started. Battery on. Lights up. I just hit the L switch. Flip all the lights on. I see a lot of guys that go through light this, light that, light the other light one at a time. I don't particularly like flipping switches. So, I just hit the L key. All the lights come on. The only ones I don't need right then, the only ones I don't want right then, are the landing light and the taxi light, which there they go off. And everything else is just running lights, which it's good to have them on. And of course, interior lights, instrument panel lights and stuff like that. Turn on the nearly useless FMC. There's the little map view. It doesn't do much good, but I like to have everything on. Okay. 12,900 and whatever pounds. We're full of gas. Okay, this all looks good. Let's set in our destination by hitting Shift 3. Make it daytime. And our destination is Kilo Papa India Echo, St. Petersburg Clearwater. That's right across Tampa Bay from Tampa International. It's a pretty good sized FBO. It's a pretty good sized airport. Okay. I think I'm running out of excuses. Let's close her up and fire them up. Okay, that all looks good. Fuel valves open. And these little buttons on the right and left are the starters. The middle one has no known function. And they're fine, but they're a pain in the ass because you don't know whether they're on or not. You just have to remember. So they're on. Now I'm going to set my trim while that's happening. I'm looking for a value around 3.0. What is that? 0.9. No, that can't be right. Yeah, it is 2.4, a little bit more. Okay. Call tower, or call ground rather, who are in the tower, as we discussed. Okay, do you have any stuff there? Yep.
Kilo, Foxtrot, Oscar, Kilo, automated weather observation, 1030, Zulu, wind 234, and
Okay, they're using 2.4.
visibility 7. Sky condition, ceiling 900, broken. Temperature
Okay. So we're not going to get any help. We'll just taxi out to T4. We'll go. Okay. Right. Take a look at the airport diagram here. Okay, that's the, just go out here and might as well just taxi on down. Okay, we're going to use the mouse instead of the joystick as we did in the last video. I'm a novice at that, so we'll just have to see how that goes. Initiate that by hitting the X key. The primary mouse button is still the brakes. Well, it's the brakes on the, it's the brakes here. I'm not thinking straight when I'm using the joystick. The trigger is the brakes. Since we're being bad boys, we'll just go to the end of 6 and merciful heaven. Taxi on down. Back taxi the whole way. Oh, here we are. Okay. Fine. I think this is because we're taxiing a little too fast. I'm looking at the little cross jumping. I don't care for that. Something's going on there. You probably can't see it. The little tiny cross, I can see it. It's like really jumping wildly from one side of the screen to the other. And that's what's guiding the airplane. All right, see, slow down. Airplanes fly really fast, but it's best to have them taxi pretty slow. Okay. Kick in a notch of flaps. Jag a 180. Get lined up. We will be gone. And hopefully not fly right into the ground this time. See that? Where is it now? Where is it? There, okay. Alright, let's go. Full power. I don't know if you can see the little cross there right about in the middle of the screen, which if we're going straight is where it ought to be. Okay, ease it back gently. Yes, she'll fly. Okay, gear up. Autopilot on. Out. Nav. GPS. Nav. Yeah. That's going to be going for a while. Let's go back to the 3D cockpit. Yep, we're showing 10,000 foot a minute climb. Let's just get out of the airplane for a minute. Flaps up. This airplane has so much power. You know, you shove it to the wall, and you can only set the BSI to 9,900 foot a minute climb. That's where it is. You can see right there. I'm showing it 9,900, but I can't get it to slow down until airspeed's still climbing. We're passing through 14,000. We get up around 20,000, it'll start to decay. I don't mess with it. I'm a cowboy. I just shove it to the wall. This is your fastest way to get the highest. Set the altitude. Where do we want to be? 38.6. Are we westbound? No. So how about 37.5? And 190 on the auto throttle when we get there. That'll be about right. That will yield a ground speed of over 400 knots. Now you can see the airspeed is slowly going down. In just a minute, when it gets down below like 350 knots, what are we indicating there? 373 something? I think it'll come down pretty soon. And then I'll have to lower the nose. Okay. Down in the lower 300s range. Let's lower the nose to 7,000 foot a minute climb. See what that does. You know, when you get into the upper 30,000 foot area, you know, it'll be 1,100 feet a minute. It'll be the best it can do, but there's plenty of air for it to fly in down here. Still losing a little bit of airspeed. It's down to 5,000 a minute. It's still dropping, although very slowly. Of course, we're at 31,000 feet already. Get down to 3,000 foot a minute. Now it's coming back slightly. I can get rid of this. There's a repeater up here in the upper right, which has everything except I can't tell it what airspeed, but I can put it like IAS on or off. So once I've got the airspeed settled down, and right now I basically do, we're passing through 35,000, so we're going to be at our altitude pretty soon here. Other than that, we're on GPS, altimeter, nav. We're looking good. And this is a great airplane. I love this airplane. I briefly said in the previous flight of the Citation, it was designed by Alejandro Rojas Lucena, who is a South American. I'm not sure from what country, but he is, in my opinion, one of the best developers that ever lived. And he's got a number of freeware designs out. He and his partner, Brett Henderson, have done some of the best freeware airplanes ever in FSX. And this airplane, I acquired this airplane in 2010. So, I mean, it was way ahead of its time. And it is, as I've said, in my opinion, completely payware quality. Okay, we've reached our altitude. Kick in the auto throttle. Watch them go down. There we go. He went slightly over speed. Should go back down. Here we go. Okay. And this handy little gadget shows me my destination, kpie, 870 nautical miles away. It's going to take me 104 minutes to get there. I'm showing ground speed right now, 491 knots. Oh, jeez. All right. We're getting it. I think if we shut one of these two off, try COM2 first. Or just shut them both off. We don't need either one of them. COM1's the only thing I want right now. That should be the end of that. We wouldn't normally be receiving a Morse signal through the COM1 radio. Anyway, so we're slowly declining from a ground speed of 440 some odd knots. We're indicating 250 something. I've got the auto throttle set for 190. So our ground speed will settle down in the upper threes somewhere probably. But, you know, when you do that, the airplane has like a 5,000 mile range. This trip is not even 1,000 miles, so no big deal. But okay, we're down to just about an hour and a half of simulator time, so we're going to slow down to 8x. And let's see where we are. Coming down over the Virginia, Carolina thing. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep going at 8x for a while. What a gorgeous airplane. The real world Cessna Citation X is the fastest private jet on the planet. I mean, look at those engines. It is a rocket. You shove it to the wall and punch it. You know, you just saw me. You can set the VSI for 9,900 foot a minute climb, and it'll be in overspeed mode until it's up over 20,000 feet. And you either slow it down or that's you just listen to the bell go off. I just listen to the bell go off for a minute. The other thing about it is, full tanks, it's only carrying 1,900 gallons of gas, and yet it's a 5,000 mile. Yeah, maybe, but yeah, it's easily 4,000 mile airplane in nominal conditions. So you know, the only thing that's got a longer range is the Falcon 7X, and that's a big mama with 3 engines and carries over 5,000 gallons of gas, and costs a lot more to fly. But the one thing they both have in common is they're performing fools. They just point the tail at the ground, and man, they just go right up, walk right up the sky. We're burning 558 pounds a side, which is nominal for this cruise speed. So that's, I've got 10,000 pounds of gas. That's almost 10 hours of steaming time at what? Yeah, 350. It's kind of slow. The wind's kind of in our face, I'll bet. The wind's at a 290 something. Yeah, not exactly. It's off to the side a little bit. It's not very strong. It's not affecting our speed very much. So look in the back. This is one of the earliest airplanes where you could look at the back section. Here we are. There's Alejandro's website, Flight Simulations and Designs. They are tied up with Simviation somehow. They're affiliated. You can get there from Simv, but it's just FSND. Flight Simulations and Designs. Take you right to their website. I strongly recommend, if you've not gone there, that you do. They have several nice designs, and Brett Henderson has some nice designs too. There's a really nice Cessna 310, a really nice 177 RG. Alejandro has designed an upgrade for the default 747 and 737 cockpits, which has an FMC of quality that I don't know because I'm not very into FMCs, but it's definitely a better. I have it in both of my 747 and my 737, and it's a big improvement. It's just the way it looks and everything. What is it about it that? Well, the FMC just for decoration, you know, it's nice to have, and it's functional. It works. And there's the F-10 cockpit. Not too many places to go. Not like these Carnado airplanes that you can hit the A key 10 times and still not get back to the virtual cockpit. The first one of those that I saw was the Falcon 50, which was an FS9 port-over designed by a couple of Frenchmen and some other guys, one of whom was my buddy Don Bodenstedt, who was the FSX forum moderator on FlightSim.com years ago. He hasn't been around for a while. I'm not sure what happened to him. He was a good guy though. But anyway, he designed some of the gauges for that Falcon 50. That Falcon 50 has about 7 or 8 views. You just keep hitting the A key and going through the airplane. It's a beautiful interior. It's a lovely, lovely airplane. Earlier design, admittedly, but It's still, I fly mine regularly. It's a very nice airplane. Oh, I've got to shut off the fuel valves, which I have not yet done. Because if you don't, the airplane, the starter motors will keep whining when you shut down. There we go. And I mean, that's not a big deal, but I just hate it. It's just not good technique, you know? So, let's see where we are now. 326 miles out. 55 simulator time minutes. At 8x, that's about 6 minutes from now. Out over the ocean. Come back in a little. At 200 miles out, we'll go down to 4x. At 100 miles out, we'll go down to 2x. Sometime in between there, we will start descending. Since we're at 37,000 feet, basically when that thing says we're 37 minutes out, we'll commence descending. Now normally you would think, well, you're 37,000 feet, descend at 1,000 foot a minute, that'll be 37 minutes. The problem is it doesn't exactly work that way. When you're up high like this, I use initially 800 foot a minute. The air is very thin, she'll drop faster. And when you get down around 20,000 feet, then I increase the descent rate to 900 or even 1,000 foot a minute. And that ends you where you're, in approach altitude, like 10 or 15 miles out, which is what you want. With this airplane, a little more even. I'd rather be 15 miles out when I start my final approach from 3,000 feet above ground level. This airplane is a high-spirited filly. I set the auto throttle at 160 knots in the final phases, and I'm always using the spoilers. Come in with full flaps, and it's always going faster than, and it's all you can do to, a 5,000 foot runway, I don't even know, with using the mouse as a joystick, I don't know how that's going to go. I have landed this thing in Marshall County, West Virginia, which is 3,300 feet. I have dropped her in and still there. But that's when I was red hot with it. I was sharp as a razor. I've been flying it like crazy. I had done many, many approaches within the last preceding few days. And you get better. The more you do, the better you get. It is possible to do it. She will land at 160 knots. And if you put her down just right, hit the reverse thrusters right then and stand on the brakes, you can get her stopped. I've done it. I've done it multiple times. Okay, see now look at this. Slow down to, are we at 4x? No, we're at 8x still. Down to 2x. This is a typical thing. I get yakking to you guys, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, now we're high. 37,026 minutes. So forget the 800 foot a minute. We're going to need more like 1,200 foot a minute. Foot a minute, And I'm slowing the auto throttle down to 160 now. That'll take forever to get down to actually be there. Okay, that's all right. Have a look outside. $23, we're at 34,000. I'm increasing the drop. I want to get down there. I want to make sure I'm down within range of being down enough. The last thing you want is to show up over the airport 6,000 feet high. That's just really bad form. So I'm dropping at 1,600 a minute. When I see that I've got the descent made, I'll slow the descent. But right now, I'm 132 miles out. See, 22 minutes, 33,000. So I've got to get those two numbers closer together. $18 minutes, still 28,000. But we're 113 miles out. So, that should be plenty of time to get down from 28,000. Yeah, we can do that. We're dropping in at 1,600 feet a minute. Let's see where we are when we're 60 miles out. Airspeed slowly climbing. That's all right. Now we're 8 minutes behind. 102 miles out. See what's happening in the next 40 miles. Let's increase the drop a little more. I'm going to get out of 2,000 foot a minute. And kick in and knock the flaps. Typically, I will go to 1x or normal speed around 37 miles out. In the Carinado airplanes especially, and also the Wilco Falcon, very especially, I will do that. I'll do each of these steps much farther out. I'll go to normal speed in the Falcon X at 50 miles out, at least. I'll start descending much sooner. Everything happens faster in that airplane. I don't really know why, because airspeed here 269. That's mid 250s, mid 200 range. That's the way I pretty much use it with the Falcon. But the Falcon doesn't have a working auto throttle. I'm doing it manually, so you tend to get a lot of variation in the airspeed. That airplane is cantankerous. The throttles aren't that easy to control. They aren't that responsive. They don't always do what you tell them to. It's much better than it used to be. I'm able to fly it regularly, at least, but it's still a pain in the ass. This thing is a complete sweetheart. This airplane does exactly what you tell it to. It's a high-spirited filly, though. It's a very fast, powerful airplane. Okay, 60 miles out, 11 minutes to drop 12,000. See, it's getting closer. What do I got the altitude set to? What do I want to go down to? 92, I want to go down to 7,000.
St. Petersburg Airport information Golf 1257 Zulu. Wind 225 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition clear. Temperature 27. Dew point 23. Altimeter 3.
It'll be 1.7. going in on 1.7. We're going to go in on 1.7 left. We get a little closer, we'll turn perpendicular. I think we can do that now. And we'll pick up the localizer and go to nav mode and play it right in. Okay. And when that red line, when we reset that, it's coming straight directly out of the wing, that means we're perpendicular to the localizer course, which is exactly what we want. This is from 17 miles out. We'll be about 13 miles out when that happens. That's fine. There's the waypoint right there. There's a line of them. Now that we see those waypoints, we'll go to GPS mode now. So that all I gotta do is go to nav. Heading trumps either of the nav settings. So once you're in heading mode, you can go back and forth, and that's not gonna affect what the airplane is doing. When you're not in heading mode, you don't wanna do that. Because whatever change you make, the airplane will follow that. If you go from nav to GPS, it'll go right to the GPS direction. Okay, this is going to be fun to see how this works with the mouse yoke. "15 miles out, that's excellent. That'll give her time to recover." Go to nav now. She'll start to turn in. about right. Even a little too much, but it's okay. You're down. Let's have another notch of flaps. In fact, flaps full right now. Here's why. We go flaps full until we see her start to slow down. When the flaps, when the throttles are coming forward, see, she needs a little bit of throttle now to maintain 160 knots. So we know that we're getting down close to that speed, which is what we want. That's right about where we are. Okay, 12.5 miles out. When that thing goes to a 9.9, we commence descending. And you can see here, there's the approach course. That's looking pretty good. Get a better look on the Garmin. Looking good. You're coming right down the pipe. Looking good. Airspeed is 160 something. Perfect. This airplane really does the job nicely. Now watch the distance out. 10.3, 10.2, 10.1, 10.0. Commence descent. At 1,000 a minute, that ought to be good. Now the thing you got to remember is, for God's sake, don't forget to shut the auto throttle off before you get too close. I'll keep it on for a few more seconds. I'm looking for an airport. 7 miles out. Okay. Auto throttle off. Because if you don't, when you hit that runway, there it is. I see it. See it? We're just going to continue right on down. The throttles won't get down to flight idle. You'll just go zooming right through the fence on the other side. Take it from one who has had that happen. Okay, coming right down, looking very good. If it looks like we're descending too fast or too slowly, I'll kick it off, which I'm going to do right about now.
Sync rate.
Yeah.
Pull up. Pull up.
Calm
Pull
down.
up.
Calm down. Flight idle.
Pull up. Sync rate. Sync rate.
Full flaps.
Pull up. Sync rate.
Beautiful.
Sync rate.
Beautiful. Spoilers. This will happen with a joystick sometimes. I've had worse. That wasn't really good, but it was like almost fair. We're on the runway. as inexperienced as I am with the mouse joystick, I'm pretty happy with it actually. Okay. Spoilers. Flaps up. And let's taxi in. For a normal spot. At this airport. Some days, you know, I'm not having that great of a day. I might not do any better than that with the joystick. There's a little bit of, I'm not sure what it is. I need to learn more. You know, it just got a little squirrely right at the end there, and suddenly I'm off to the side. I'm not quite adept at making those last minute adjustments. There's a technique to it, and I haven't learned that yet. I am in the process of learning it. You know, any novice flight sim guys out there, you know what I'm talking about. You're having the same issues with the joystick. You're just not used to, you haven't used it that much. You'll get there. Practice, practice, practice. I went out this morning in the Beechcraft King Air 200 from Crisfield, where I landed it, and just did a bunch of touch and goes. And I, you know, improved dramatically. I'm gonna go in there. Yeah, we'll go around in here. This is a normal spot by that building. So actually, I, you know, consider that pretty successful. Okay. Here he is. Joystick mode. Set the parking brake. Then we should get the little white box. Okay. Now we'll make sure that the stars, we won't make sure of anything. We either did it or we didn't. Now we're going to find out. Oh, we did. Normal shutdown. Very nice. Open the doors. And that'll be that. Okay, folks. Well, pretty good flight. Not perfect, but it's probably a keeper. I'll probably post it. And as always, thanks for coming along. And we'll catch you next time.